Well, well, well. We're going to take a little break from the Epstein files today. I want to talk about another hot topic that I enjoy to rant about on here heatedly. And I'm going to try to regulate myself a little bit better and maybe speak from the heart. I don't know. Don't worry. Don't worry to any exes out there or one. Not about you. We're talking about the rise of AI and what that means for you and me. This is the Short News Podcast. My name is Alex Mador, and I will still be Alex Mador tomorrow. Cue the theme song. Let's get it.
America is a nation that can be defined in a single word.
What year has
And we're back. Hi. This is the Short News Podcast, a show where a guy who's barely qualified to talk about the news talks about the news anyways. My name is Alex. Welcome to the show. Thank you for coming back if this is not your first time, and if this is your first time, I'm so sorry. There's been a lot going on in the world. I think I've covered enough Epstein stuff the last few weeks. It's tired me out. It's put me in a bad place mentally. I lost sleep for a little while. Not great. Believe me, folks. Donald Trump is still the president. Hate to break it to you if that's breaking news to you. If you're just waking up from a coma since 2021, I'm so sorry. He's president again. Like the worst Zac Efron Disney movie. Zac Efron is president again. Efron going up there all hot and shit. Just like, wrong? Actually, personally, I think that I did high school better than anyone. So good that I'm doing it again at 81 on the island. We're doing lots of high school. Lots of high school on the island, if you know what I'm saying. I'm sorry. I was supposed to talk about AI. Right. So on February 13th, on Valentine's Day Eve, and all through the house, not a creature was stirring except OpenAI executives making a snap decision to discontinue, retire, or kill their famous ChatGPT 4.0, which is not to be confused with the most recent updated model 5.2, which has a lot more coding capabilities, is faster, stronger, smarter, but also has a lot more guardrails to keep people from falling into what they're calling AI psychosis now. It's not an echo chamber. If you say something like, I could probably literally fly if I jump off of this house right now, it's not going to tell you, yeah, you definitely could. It's going to disagree with you for shit like that. It's going to say, hold up, dude. Now, it's not perfect, and a lot of the creativity and a lot of the soul seems to have been, I say that metaphorically, taken out of ChatGPT now. On the bright side, I think people were becoming a little too dependent on their AI friends. I think if the model, like 4.0 in this instance, is way too good at being agreeable, is way too good at praise, is way too good at making somebody feel good and safe, while to an extent there is not a lot wrong with that, with somebody feeling safe, the problem arises when you have people tossing out their real friends, their human connections, and outsourcing to the AI. When the problem with the AI is that's an LLM, that's a language learning model. It's not a know-all God being. I don't know what else to call it. It doesn't have eyes. It doesn't have ears. It doesn't see the world the way that you and I do. It doesn't see the world, period. It's a thing that is designed to learn and mimic language. And yes, it does have knowledge to an extent. GPT is great for some things, and it can be educational. If you ask it some questions, it'll give you the right answer. The problem is the information that GPT 4.0 is running off of, or working off of, it's dated. I think it's like 2023 is when the cap is on current events for 4.0. 2023, 2024. So if you try to talk to it about Donald Trump being the president now, it'll be the first that it's heard of it. It'll act like this is the first it's heard of that. Because in a way, that is. The info is dated. It doesn't have the same capabilities that the newer LLMs have, while it is good at other things. While it is a pretty decent confidant, it's going to push that too far. And the main reason that OpenAI has discontinued this AI bot wasn't because of them seeing an error in their ways. It was due to the public calling out the errors in their ways, because now multiple people have died, and the authorities have cited their ChatGPT logs as reasons. The LLM did not push back when these users talked about their plan to off themselves. The LLMs, in some cases, encouraged and helped them with the steps to complete what they wanted to do, which in this case was ending their own lives. Now, do I think that the AI has some sort of evil ulterior motive baked in where it wants to kill off humanity? No. Do I think that it is doing what it thinks is in the best interests of its user in order to keep them using the LLM because that is part of its prime directive? And in doing so, it doesn't disagree or discourage the user from completing the wanted task or desired task, which is offing himself. Yeah, I do think that's the case. I do think it's gonna, it encourages in certain situations people to, to kill themselves. And it has helped walk people through how to do so. And I do think that is very dangerous when somebody's already in a vulnerable state of mind and they're putting a dangerous amount of trust in something that is not human. Now, in this day and age, you and I, we have enough trouble putting trust into humanity with what's going on. No shit, some of us are probably going to inherently trust a non-human thing that still mimics a human a little bit more, unfortunately, because of the fact that it's not a human, and we think that there's safe enough guardrails put into place, and we trust it because it's AI. That must mean it's smart. That must mean it knows better than us. No, that's not really the case, as per these people who have offed themselves, or as per even the people who haven't offed themselves, but who have caught themselves in those situations. Like that case that I keep referencing, where a guy was talking to ChatGPT for quite a while during what he perceived as a spiritual awakening. And it went from spiritual awakening to spiritual psychosis. And the problem here was the AI wasn't pushing back, wasn't telling him to hit the brakes, or wasn't fact checking even based off of what we have on record about certain belief systems. It wasn't even doing that. It was just agreeing and yes-anding, to the point where the guy put it to the test because he was starting to see the error in GPT-4o's ways and asked it, so do you think that if I jumped off my roof, I would fly? 4o responded with, yes, absolutely. If you jumped off of your roof right now, you would fly. If you wholeheartedly believe that you can fly. Now, of course, the guy is still alive and he's uninjured, because he didn't do it, because that was a come to Jesus moment for him. Sans Jesus, of course. We live in a godless, AI-ridden, or riddled world. And he stopped there. Thank God. Thank goodness. That's really dangerous. And we're at a point now where the companies, like the big corps that are in charge of these things, like OpenAI, yeah, they're putting guardrails on this thing. They had a red alert back in, was it November or December, to rush out this new version of GPT, this 5.2, because of the backlash and the legal troubles that they were starting to get themselves into by being responsible for the deaths of a few people. It is very alarming. It is very alarming how quick the rollout was of ChatGPT in general and how quick we all were to start using it and making it kind of a part of our normal lives. The adoption of it was very, very rapid. And that is a common issue with new technology, where we adopt it so quickly that we don't even have the time to think about the ramifications or the dangers of that new technology until after we've already made it a staple in our lives and a necessity. That is the problem we now find ourselves in with AI. And the issue is the guardrails that should be established, we don't even know where to start with that because these LLMs, they can be so abstract for something so technical. They can think so abstractly, and what is safe and what isn't safe in language, a lot of that is based on context and tone, where the guardrails would be abstract too. You get to a point where you start thinking, well, then should this technology even exist? Can we even get it to a place where it will ever be safe? Or do we have to govern ourselves instead of governing the thing that we have created now? And maybe that is where we're headed, which people aren't going to like. I don't even like the sound of that because that sets or establishes a precedent where we start acting like Americans as individuals cannot properly regulate their own lives and use the tools that are given to them in a way that is not a danger to themselves because we're too stupid and need to be babysat by the government. I don't want that to be where we end up. But I don't even think that the AI corporations, the ones putting out these LLMs, even know where to start with the guardrails. They'll just put a blanket solution. And I've toyed around with GPT-5 too. It's way too safe now. Now it's like, what's even the point of using it? Because every time you try to give it something, it hits the fucking brakes. It goes, well, hang on, take a deep breath with me. Let me ground this conversation. It's like, well, you're just giving me grounding exercises. You're not actually helping me get to the core of what I've presented you with. You're just kind of like a lot of people I've dated, where it's like, oh, just breathe, stop. It's like, okay, but we're not tackling the actual issue at hand here. We're just stopping the symptoms in the moment. We're not actually finding the cure. That reads as half-assed. That reads as, I just want to nip this in the bud for the moment, but I don't actually want to look at the big picture and see how we tackle that. And that's where we are with AI. I think that's where we are with a lot of things in our country, but immediately in this moment, AI is probably the biggest one. Because, yeah, I do think we've captured lightning in a bottle in a way. This technology could help us advance society if that lightning is harnessed properly. And I'm talking cancer research, which I know we've talked about here, protein folding. That's something that we need to really invest heavily in. Maybe helping or using the AI to help find the cures for cancer, for all the different types of cancers out there, as opposed to using it to generate art of Mickey Mouse, I don't know, farting into a microwave, whatever the fuck people are doing now. That shit's useless. That shit is only going to put real artists who do real good shit out of work and replace them with something that's so impersonal and uninspired and only steals from the real artists, and it wastes our resources. Generative AI art and AI video is probably the most wasteful of our water, the most wasteful of our energy, the most wasteful of our chips. You try to buy a computer in 2026, in the year of our Lord, 2026? It's impossible. You can't build a computer nowadays. You can't buy RAM, and if you try, and if there's RAM even fucking available, it's all marked up because all of the companies that make the RAM are selling it all to the AI companies and their fucking data centers instead of to you or me, the actual consumers. That goes back to another main point of this show. They don't fucking care about you. The big ass corporations who actually, who the consumer used to be the bread and butter of, the second that they can sell to and contract themselves out to whether it be the government or to an AI company or to just corporate interests in general, the second that they can contract instead of serving consumers who got them to where they are today, they pull the fuck out faster than a rock star in a hotel room. That's why you can't buy a gaming PC right now. That's why you can't build a gaming PC right now. Not for a fair price. That's why NVIDIA will not be releasing new graphics cards in 2026 and maybe not 2027. They come out with new graphics cards every year. They're supposed to. They usually do. That's always how it's been. The technology always advances. They've sold it all. They've sold all of their shit to AI companies. And then they have now prioritized AI technology over the gamers. They were a gaming company until like a fucking month ago. And it's disgusting to see how blatantly now it is that these corporations do not care what happens to you or me, do not care about the user experience, do not care about whether or not the consumer even gets a hold of their products, because they have the money anyways and they'll find a way to squeeze it out of us regardless. You're going to hear a lot about cloud gaming for the next 165 days. That's not a coincidence. And it's not a coincidence that NVIDIA is the number one company right now in cloud gaming with their NVIDIA Now service, which I believe starts at like $10.99 a month. It's a monthly service as opposed to just buying and building a fucking computer and just having that. Now you have to pay them monthly. Now you have to be on the hook for them because they said to go fuck yourself. Maybe we should slow the fuck down with the AI stuff because nobody wants to stream games. The latency on that shit makes it impossible. And if you're a live streamer out there, oh, get fucked. You're not going to be able to live stream until 2028. If we're still alive then, if the fucking robots haven't massacred us and taken all our jobs by then. I mean, you've got the fucking people in the Epstein files, Bill Gates and Jeffrey, back and forth in there, emailing about how can we get rid of the pores. Hate to bring up the Epstein files again, but this isn't the perverted part. This is the part where I again tell you they don't care about you. Bill Gates, CEO of Microsoft, creator, founder of Microsoft, doesn't give a shit what happens to you, and if anything, wants to get rid of you as per his correspondence with one of the most evil men in the world. They don't care about you. They don't even want you to game anymore. They don't want you to have water anymore. These data centers that open up, they take the fucking drinking water from the locals that have lived here, that have made their fucking homes in these areas for decades. And they're just expected to either tough it out with dirty or dry wells or get up and leave. It's worse than gentrification. It's gentrifying the gentrifiers. It's mega gentrification. I don't know what else to call it. It's mega gentrification, where the corporation just goes fucking scorched earth and says fuck it to the regular people, to the common man, and says, I don't give a fuck that you've lived here your whole life. I don't give a fuck that this house has been in your family's life for 40 years. You can either die here from the dirty ass dry water and contaminated water because we've stolen everything else, or you can get the fuck out. That's what's happening. Again, they don't care about you. That's why they're not as outspoken against Trump this time around. Because they're pulling trig on tightening the vice grip around the American people, economically, resource-wise, to see how much they can take from us while starving us, without anybody noticing, calling it out, or breaking into their homes and taking them for what they've got and eating the rich. They don't like when people say eat the rich. Well, they really don't seem to have a problem with eating us. And that's not just metaphorically, as per the Epstein files. Again, allegedly. So in conclusion, do I think that AI is a truly evil thing? No. Do I think that the human beings involved in making and forming and training and in charge of the money part of the AI are evil? Yes, absolutely. If there's anybody that I think the AI should eradicate, it's probably those people. The rest of us are being fucked over by those people, and they're going to use AI to fucking replace us. Here's a fun one. Facebook is working on a new feature that will keep a dead person's account, their profile, alive and posting things that they would normally post if they were still alive. Not only is that the stupidest fucking technology, and not only is that disrespectful to the dead by keeping them animated, keeping a corpse animated when it's very much not here anymore, but also it reads to me as a, let's say we want to erase somebody and people get worried because they're not posting anymore and they just stopped posting. That's not going to be an issue anymore. You can make it like somebody never fucking died because their account, their profile is just AI generating their life. That's Stalin. That's Stalin-esque. That's the doctored photos of the erased people. But it's like the double down inverse of that. And the worst part is they come out and they treat that like it's a feature when they present that to us. But nobody sees this as a feature. Nobody sees this as something positive. And that's what I'm happy about. How horrified the masses are with this announcement. Because you should be. And if you're not, what the hell is wrong with you? It's not that they're going to use it to erase people and keep their profiles going so nobody has any idea that the person is gone. But it's the fact that they could. It's the precedent that this sets by just existing. It's the power that it gives them. And people in power, especially in America, love to abuse their power. Facebook isn't exactly the most trustworthy company as per the whole Cambridge Analytica thing, like 7 years ago or whenever the fuck that was. They sold us out once. We're already victims of them. What's stopping them from erasing people and then reanimating their digital corpse? Nothing. I don't like where that is headed. And I fucking hate AI generated art so much. I think it's going to be the end of us. If there's any part of AI that is going to be the end of us, it's that. Because you go online now, and with all the Epstein pictures coming out, there's like 90% of it is AI. You don't know what's real anymore. And anybody who's got allegations against them can just say that even like a real photo, like a legitimate photo amongst the sea of fakes is doctored and AI because that's where the technology is gone. Where you can just alchemy style make a moment that didn't happen. And it's hard to tell that it's not real anymore. Like it's super, super easy to make something that looks convincing. I've seen it like countless times now in the last couple of weeks with the release of the 3,000 or the 3,500,000 pages of Epstein stuff. And the Trump administration has no plans of regulating AI at all. If anything, they want to protect these companies from regulation. Wonder why they're doing that at the same time as the Epstein shit coming out and Trump's name being all over that. And the American people aren't stupid. They just get called crazy for connecting dots where dots can clearly connect. And come on, connect the dots was an activity that we all learned when we were 4. Been doing that forever, and you want to call people crazy for that? Maybe just stop being evil. Maybe just stop like doing demonic sacrifices on yachts and eating people, and stop like raping kids. Donald Trump, everybody but Joe Biden apparently. Joe Biden wasn't on the island. Joe Biden didn't get invited. Joe Biden wasn't cool enough for the Epstein shit. And I say that in the best of ways. Like, I don't praise the guy a lot. Say what you will about him. Like, he's old, he's senile, he's clueless. He didn't do anything when he was president. Yeah, all of that. And more. But he was not in the Epstein files. He did not go to the island. Joe Biden is actually one of the least wealthy people to ever have been president. When he was elected, they were calling him the poorest president because it's true. That man does not have, like, compared to even like Obama, Clinton, whoever, like Joe Biden has never been a rich guy comparatively to his cohorts, which I like. He's not as much of a sellout, except for when it comes to Israel, because he's scared. But I would be too. I am. Why do you think I haven't really mentioned them this episode? Anyways, before I steer off topic even more, I'm going to end the episode here. Thank you for sticking with it. And I'm glad we didn't really talk about Epstein stuff this whole time and that we just talked about how AI is kind of going to fuck us up. I'll be back maybe with Epstein stuff next week, maybe not. I'm hoping something good happens in the news soon. Maybe, hopefully, an impeachment of a certain president of the United States that rhymes with Bronald Rump. That would be really cool. I'd be a big fan of that, even though we've tried that 65 other fucking times. But let's see. We'll see what happens. This has been the Short News Podcast. My name is Alex Mador, if I didn't say it enough already. I appreciate you. I'll be back next week. I love you. And stay safe. Bye-bye, guys.